Welcome back to ASAP Bar Talk, where we interview legends. And today we have Samuel Hoye, lifelong educator, principal, president of the school board, and most recently had Lee County's elementary school named after him. That's Samuel E. Hoye Elementary School. And thank you for coming in and checking out with us today, Mr. Hoye. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, and thank you for inviting me.
Awesome, man. Today I'd like to talk to you pretty much about everything because all I really know about you is probably mainly Principal Hoye.
Okay?
So I know you grew up in Lena, Mississippi. And just tell me about the family, how the parents and the siblings. Tell me about that.
Yes, I was born and raised right there in Lena, Mississippi, small town. My parents is Jesse Hoye and Tressa Almond Hoye, and I am the second child between this marriage. I have four sisters, and from this related marriage, of course, I have other sisters, brothers from my daddy's previous marriage also.
Yes.
But I was born and raised in a small town of Lena. Started my education in Lena at a little school called Sixtown Elementary.
Okay.
And from there we grew to consolidation with Ely School Elementary. And that's where I got my basic start in education was Sixtown Elementary and Ely School Elementary.
Okay. As far as education goes, like what did you know back then you wanted to be in education?
No. I had no idea that I would ever go into education. I was mostly interested in farming. I wanted to be a farmer, but I wanted to own a farm rather than to work somebody else's farm.
I know that's right.
So after I had the opportunity to go to school, my dad insisted that I was either going to college after finishing high school, or I would stay there and work with him in the fields until I was 21. And that idea was shut down in just a few seconds.
Yeah.
Because I knew he meant business. So from that, I decided that I wanted to go to college because I had no intention of staying there working with my daddy for 4 years. I was only 17 years old.
Yeah.
And that meant I had to stay there and work with him for the next 4 years. No,
Okay.
that was not going to happen. So I decided to go to college, and I had two choices. Alcorn was my first choice,
Okay.
and after spending a week at Alcorn, I found out no, this is not a choice at all. So I left Alcorn and decided I'd go to Mississippi Industrial College in Holly Springs, Mississippi. But prior to that, though, let me go back after finishing 8th grade at Murphy High School. I continued my education at Murphy High School and graduated in 1962. During that year, we had a school to consolidate with us. Our class size grew, which was the Galilee School up in the Harmony community. They consolidated those schools, and some of the students attend Jordan High School in Carthage, and some of the schools was assigned to Murphy High School in Walnut Grove, and that's where I finished high school.
Okay. So at that point, it was time for you to go to college, and you did go there. Did you start out in education? Did you know? When did you? It took a little bit of.
Yeah, when I first left home going to Alcorn, I was going to major in agriculture,
Okay. Yeah.
but I didn't like Alcorn, so after entering Mississippi Industrial College in Holly Springs, Mississippi,
Yeah.
I decided to go into education. And my first choice was elementary education. And after staying there for a semester, I decided that's not what I want to do. I didn't want to teach those small children. So I talked with the dean, W. Hastings Carter, and he told me, said, I need you to major in biology and come into my program.
Okay.
So I decided to major in biology because I thought I was going to get the foundation needed, which I got basic foundation, to go into laboratory science. But after I graduated from Mississippi Industrial College with a degree in biological science, I decided I wanted to teach biology. So after graduation, I started teaching,
Okay.
and I taught biology for over at North Scott High School. That was my first job in Scott County, a little community named Midway.
Midway.
That's where I started off at, and I taught there for 4 years. And the Desegregation Act affected us, and we had to consolidate with predominant white school, which was Scott Central.
Yeah.
And after going to Scott Central, I really felt like I was going over there to get fired. I just felt like that Juanita Banks and I were very vocal, and we felt like that we was asked to go there so that we be put out of the system. Anyway, after going to Scott Central, class was segregated up until the time of, I believe that was 1971.
Okay.
And 1971, the black schools, North Scott, 9 through 12, merged with Scott Central School, 9 through 12. And I was there for about the first semester. I worked as a classroom teacher. And after that, due to so many problems that they was having, they wanted me to go into administration.
Okay.
So I took the administrator's job there at Scott Central High School the second semester, which I didn't want. I never wanted to be an administrator. It took me away from my students, took me out of the classroom, but I was forced in it. They told us what my job was going to be, so I accepted the position as administrator. And I worked there for 8 years. I worked as elementary principal, assistant high school principal. And that during that time, I was not degreed. I didn't have a degree in administration.
Okay.
And I said, this is a big reason why they can get rid of me now.
Yeah.
So after that, I went back to school with Jackson State
Jackson State.
and got my master's in administration and supervision. And I worked there with Scott Central staff and family for 8 years. And the superintendent of Lee County Schools decided that he wanted to talk to me. Told me I'll talk with you. And after talking with Morris Stewart was superintendent at that time, he made me an offer that I didn't believe he was serious about, so I took it.
Oh yeah.
So that's when I left Scott Central in June of 1978 and transferred down the road, which is about 8 miles, school about 8 miles apart, and became principal at South Lake Elementary School.
Okay. So how was that? Like that's when I met you, but it was like later. You know, you had been in South Lake for a minute. So, like, how was it when did you know you'd be at South Lake for that long? Was it much different from Scott Central? Or?
Yeah, I didn't really think I'd stay at South Lake as long as I did.
Yeah.
And it was not that much different between South Lake and Scott Central because normally the same people that you go to church with or you see in town or you visit with, we lived in a proximity of 12-mile radius there. And everybody mostly knew everybody. after coming to South Lake, it was a little bit more personal because I graduated from that school
Okay.
in 1962.
Okay.
And it was just like being back at home, working with your relatives, your people that you've known all your lives, people you go to church with, people that you visit in the community. It made a difference. So the superintendent told me
Yeah.
when he hired me, he said, I heard about the job that you was doing. I need you. I want, I want you to come just work with us, South Lake. I'll start you out at South Lake Elementary. And he used these terms. Do what you have to do. I want the school cleaned up.
It was pretty rough.
So I said, okay. So I stayed there and worked for 4 years. Of course, Morris got defeated in the next election. He got defeated as superintendent. But he had told his opponent his plans after they discussed the school and its needs. So after 4 years at South Lake Elementary, the new superintendent, which was I. Dickens, Mr. I came up to me one day and told me, well, said, I know what you and Morris talked about when he hired you. He said, find someone to take your place here at the elementary school. I'm going to send you to the high school. And I want the high school cleaned up and kids put back in the classroom. So I said, okay. So I found Rodney Tadlock, who I previously worked with at Scott Central. And I told Rodney what I had on my mind. He said, man, I want to get away from this place. Yeah, I'll take the job as principal there. So I hired Rodney as elementary principal. At that time, South Lake was an attendance center. The high school principal had some control over the elementary school because they only had one budget, one bookkeeper. All the money was kept at the high school, which I didn't like, but I worked with that. So after going to the high school, I did what I had to do. And I guess I cleaned it up because the students won the class, and we were not on probation. We were never on probation. And I just learned to enjoy my work and what I was doing. And that was in 1978. And didn't have too much to work with back there in those days, but you had good parents, good teachers, and some good students. So I stayed there until I retired.
Stayed there. Didn't you leave and come back? What made you come back that time?
Yeah, well, finally, the condition the condition of the high school was terrible. And I raised old Billy about it every chance I got. So the superintendent finally told me, so we're going to find a way to build a new school. So you deserve a new school at South Lake. So he found a way to make that happen. And I was satisfied because the student had a decent place to learn and go to school, and at least stay warm and stay dry. Because the old building was cold, rain in it, had those heaters that they had in there were radiators, radiator heat. Kids stayed cold until 11 o'clock when I first went there. So, to answer your question, in 1997, my mom got sick
Okay.
and she had to go to dialysis. And I was her only son. She had daughters, but they couldn't afford to do what I did because they had families too. They just couldn't put mom before their family, but I decided, well, mama got to go to dialysis. I'm gonna take her. So I told my staff what I had on my mind. And they said, no, see, you can't leave. You can't leave. So what we'll do, you just go when you have to go and we'll cover for you. And they did. I had a beautiful staff. They covered for me. And finally one day I just felt guilty having them to look out for me like that. I said, look, y'all deserve somebody that can be here to unlock the doors every morning and lock them in the afternoon. So I said, my mama needs me, I'm going home. So I resigned and went home and took care of my mama for 2 years. After my mama made her transition to Superintendent Jim Petty, he came to me and told me, well, he sent for me, but Jim was sick. And he said, look, I need you back at South Lake. I laughed at him. I said, you got to be crazy.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I said, I'm serious, Hoye. So I need you back at South Lake. Says, it's out of control. And I need your help. He said, I'm sick. I need your help. I said, okay, Jim, what you got? And he told me that he was not going to renew the contract with the principal that was there at the time. And said, I need you to go down there. And I said, if you're there, I don't have to worry about that school. So I decided, yeah, I'll take it. So I went back to South Lake and just walked back in, done what I normally do, and everybody was satisfied.
Yeah, one thing about you is, though, you did walk in a room and full of kids that's making all kind of noise, and as soon as they noticed you, you could hear a pin drop. Not many people could do that, and I don't even know how you could even explain how you did it. But like, have you always been that kind of individual though? Because honestly, literally, you would walk into our auditorium, and we end up just being kids. Not saying you didn't have a few showing out here and there, but everybody during there stopped at exactly what they were doing and sat up straight when you walked into a room.
Well, it's my students and staff. I made my expectation of them very clear. I didn't beat around the bush with it. They knew what I expected. And they gave it to me. That's all I did. And so many times leaders don't make their expectation known to the one that they are supervising. If you don't know what the supervisor expects of you, you're supposed to do whatever you want to do.
It's true.
So I made that number one. Everybody that worked under my supervision knew my expectation of them. And no time off. Get the job done. If you need help, come tell me you need help, and I will help you. But don't go out there and act like you don't know, because I'm telling you, this is what I want done. This is when I want it done. This is how I want it done. If you can't do it, you let me know. Students knew that. And they knew that I didn't have no picks and choosers. Whoever failed to give me their best, I call them out. That's the only thing that I do to let everybody know we're in this together. This is what we're gonna do.
I know when we was playing sports and everything, Carthage is our rivals. Why did we stop playing them? Was that your decision?
Yeah. I tell you what happened. The superintendent at the time catered to Carthage School. Okay? So we had poor, very poor facilities
Yes.
there at South Lake.
Yes.
And they didn't want to come down there and play because of our facilities.
Mm-hmm.
But if our facilities are so poor that you can come down here and play, why are you allowing my students to have a condition like this that you don't even accept? I said, this don't make sense. The feeder house
Yeah.
should have been torn down 50 years before I got there. The bleachers should have been replaced 20 years before I got there. Uh, Give us what we need. The bathrooms was terrible, and they didn't want their family to come down there and play on our field. So I said, well, if it's good enough for my kids, it's good enough for Carthage. And I won't accept less. So we played the game over there, and the next year they were supposed to be returning the game to us.
Mm-hmm.
And they just come out and said, your facilities ain't up to par. We can play over here, and everybody will have clean restroom. My people need clean restroom, workable toilet. I said, okay, tell you what, Auntie, you honor the game. When Carter honor the game that they owe us, we'll start back playing again. But I didn't care too much about football, but I knew that they liked basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Mann was a freshman
Okay.
in high school. And I refused to go to the county tournament.
Mm.
I refused to play cards at any time. And the superintendent came to me and said, well, you know I can force you to play them. I said, I know you can. I said, yeah, you can. I said, if you force me to play cards, then I'm going to force you to play Edinburgh. He didn't want us to play Edinburgh. He cared about that money game of cards.
Uh-huh.
He said, you can't do that. I said, if you can, I can. So during the time that Marcus Mann was in high school, 4 years, we never played a ball game in Carthage Gym.
Really?
No, I wouldn't play them. During the time that they had the tournament, it was Thomastown, Carthage, and Edinburgh,
Man.
and a very poor game. And on that particular night, I told my coach, when you get this tournament schedule for the county, schedule a game with Forest on that same night. So Forest drew a crowd for South Lake.
Yeah.
We drew a crowd for Forest. And so the night that they wanted us to play in the tournament, we already had a game scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the superintendent got tired of playing his game with me. It's okay. What we're going to have to do to get you back in the county tournament. I said, play me the game you owe me in football. And he said, get with Gressel, y'all work it out. That's what we did.
They understand that money talk.
Yeah, I took the money out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
That'll change a lot of things, by the way. Got to change that money.
That's what Marcus never played in a county tournament. They never saw Marcus play unless they would come to South Lake.
Yeah.
And so I held out. You can't treat me like that. If my facilities are not good enough for your kids to play in, then why you have to force my kids to play in them? And all of that led up to building that new school. I mean, it just kept adding up, so they found a way to build a school for us.
Yeah. You were pretty firm, like I said, like things that we did back then we couldn't get away with type deal are probably now. I remember one game, it was a home football game. I don't know, I was young. I ran by you. I guess I ran over somebody or did something. You took your belt off right there and got me right there. And it's just those kind of days, like whether I knew it then, now, or that made me, I ain't gonna forget it. I know that. You know what I mean? And those kind of things is something we'll never get back. The feeling of just being in South Leak. People used to want to go to South Leak. We didn't skip school. We stayed in school. I don't know why, cause it's just we had enough fun. You know what I mean? And it was disciplined. You know what I mean? It wasn't just reckless, but we didn't have senior skip day. We really couldn't. The school was too small. You couldn't skip class, let alone have a skip day. I just wanted to I don't know, just stress that point of how beautiful that was. And as hard as you was, I was, of course, doing something I ain't had no business. I got in trouble at home. And when it was time for you to give me grace, you did. At that point, you did give me that little space, and you did not punish me probably as hard as you should have. And I appreciate that. Cause you pretty rough, so you know what I mean. It was hard to even think that you would give me that, but you did, and I appreciate that. Cause a lot of times you need a chance, you need a second chance,
Right.
and I do want to thank you for that.
So, well, put it this way. Boys are going to be boys. Some boys are going to grow up being more aggressive than other boys. That's okay. That never angered me to have a boy in school, young adult in school, doing things that's mischievous. You were just mischievous, and you had fun doing it, whatever it was.
Yeah,
And school is a place where students are supposed to develop mentally and physically. And you shouldn't deny normal development to a cure because he break a few, a student break a few rules every now and then. Nobody's perfect. But in your case, you did it for the fun that was in it, which was fine. That was the time for you to do those things and get it over with. But today, I would really hate to see you making those childish mistakes
I agree.
because you were supposed to have developed in school.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And what Paul said, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I behaved as a child. But when I become a man, I put away my foolish things, per se.
That's right.
Now that you're a man, you don't do those things.
Right.
And so many people miss that. Let him grow up. Let him get out there and act stupid every once in a while. You know he's not stupid. But challenge him and let him know you know better, but you did it anyway. That's a period of growth and development for all students. I'd rather see a young man or a young woman develop at a normal time and age than see them out there 21 and 30 years old act like a child.
That's right.
And that happens too often. And people don't understand that, hey, they missed development when they should have been having it because they were afraid you're going to do something to them. So that was a period of development. I loved it. I loved the challenge.
But yeah, like I know South League wasn't as bad, but to me, you were kind of like our Joe Clark. You know what I mean? The movie Lean on Me. I know it wasn't quite so bad at South League, but that's what those times kind of put me in the mind of. It was a lot of fun, but it was definitely disciplined and well behaved at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. And you've been at South Leak and in school for a lot of years. I gotta ask you, do you have any one student that you is like, okay, this is my favorite right here?
Not really, no.
Not really.
I had one student, I really can't call him through a name right now, that I catered to a lot because The girl was smart.
Uh-huh.
She do her homework. She never called in this problem.
Uh-huh.
But she had some disadvantage in her home environment.
Mm-hmm.
But she was, I guess, closer to me than any student I ever worked with. I can't call her first name, but she looked gruffery girl from that at Madden.
Okay.
She gave her best every day,
Mm-hmm.
and it went unnoticed.
Mm-hmm.
And what really hurt me, I pray today that this actual were a mistake. She should have been number 2 in her class
Mm-hmm.
when I looked at her grades.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't get it. She came to me too late because graduation was that night.
Mm-hmm.
And my counselor promised me it was an oversight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel good about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because of who the girl was.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't give it to her.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried everything I could do to make up to the girl, and I had my counselor to personally apologize to her and her family. Because it's underprivileged home, parent living on a milk dairy that Madden, and this girl struggled and still come out being this number 2 person in her class
Says a lot.
and was not recognized for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had a special student, that's the one that I would name. I can't call her full name now, but I let her know that it was nothing on my part that caused this, and I let her know that I'll make up to you. So I worked with her and got her a full-time scholarship at Jackson State,
Awesome.
in spite of.
Uh-huh.
I'll call her name later. But other than that, I didn't have no special student.
Okay.
I had one rule, and it went for everybody. Do right.
That's right. Now, did you, out of all those teachers that worked under you, do you have a special or a teacher that sticks out?
I had one that stood out, I guess, higher than any others
Mm-hmm.
teachers,
Mm-hmm.
because she could take the average student and get superior performance out of that average student.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't call her name.
Okay.
She was great,
Okay.
and I tried to learn how she did it,
Mm-hmm.
but I never did get to exactly how she could get it done.
Oh.
But she could take an average student and get superior performance out of them. Other than that, no.
Okay. Now, you had 2 championship basketball teams, but you had Marcus Mann team and you had Adrian Kelly team. Which one was the best? Who you think would win right now if they played at their prime?
If they had to play the game tonight,
Yeah, in their prime.
I have to say Marcus Mann team was, because he had a better bench.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Farrell, he could go on his bench 8 or 9 times and you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the team that Adrian Kelly was on, Coach Reeves, he didn't have, he could probably go to his bench one time, the number 6 player,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else was on the bench. Could have played in them, they could have done the same thing. But there was more talent on Marcus Mann's team
Okay.
than Adrian Kelly.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask this question because we just be talking about the kids. How do you feel about the current state of our youth? Things have changed. It seems like.
I get that all the time. I
Uh-huh.
hear that all the time. How did they change? What made them change? Nothing. The kids, the children of today, are the same as children in 94 or 95 when you finish high school. The difference is in the parent.
Yeah.
You have parents wanting to be children, want to be recognized as children, and not doing their job. Uh, if I was 10 years younger, I'd go back to South Lake today and give me all the kids you have there in that building.
Yeah.
I put them all in one group, and they will be attentive. It's not the children.
Yeah.
It's the parent of failing to be parent.
I agree.
And I'm not kicking this. A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the man ought to be the man at the head of the house.
That's right.
I feel like the mother should be this number 2 person in the house. But there he is with baggy pants on or an earring in his ear, wanting to be a boy. Children are the same today as they were 20 years ago, and I can just give you example after example. But where the problem is, the young adults refuse to step up to the plate and be parent. They want to be part of the game. There's no such thing as a bad child. Where did he learn to be bad at? How did he get to be bad? He's acting out what you fail to see in him. That's all he's doing. He wants the attention of the grown people. In the church that I attend, those students, those members or students, what you want to call them, they just like they were when they was in school. If I'm around, they listen. Okay, I'll call them out. It's no bad children out there. We got some very bad parents.
Agree. Now, how did you feel when you first heard that they were going to put your name over the school?
I thought it was a joke.
Really?
Superintendent walked in the boardroom and he was talking about the school and schools. And he said, now, the elementary school down at Walnut Grove, it should be called Samuel E. Hoye Elementary. The whole boardroom stood up just applauding.
Really?
I don't know whether this was programmed or what, but even the people standing in the back, they applaud him for saying that. And I looked around and said, me? And later on, some kind of way, he got it and worked it up and surprised me again. He had a special call meeting and made the announcement after inviting all of my family.
Yeah.
And I'm proud he did it. I'm happy that he did it. And I hope I will never give anybody a reason to feel like that I'm not living up to the expectation of the name. So I plan to do it. Yeah, I was excited about it. I just couldn't believe it.
That's a huge.
Out of all the people,
well deserved.
Me,
Well
the smallest thing here. But yes, I was excited about it.
Yeah. Well, it's well deserved, man. It really is. I'd like to congratulate you again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it. We're wrapping up another episode of Bar Talk. We have Samuel Hoye here, Mr. Hoye. We'd like to thank you for coming back. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
We done chopped it up, had a good one. We appreciate y'all. This is George Crosby, owner of ASAP and ASAP Bar Talk. See you next time.
Yeah.